Hello, and welcome to today's VC Task Force Gary's Picks event for investors and startups. My name is Joel Rosenberg, Director of Business Development and Strategy for VC Task Force. VC Task Force is an organization where the venture community comes together to address critical issues, provide workshops and other events for the benefit of the venture and entrepreneurial communities. VC Task Force provides access to an extensive ecosystem of VCs, corporate VCs, and angel investors. You may ask questions anytime during the event, and time permitting, they will be answered live after today's interview. It is my pleasure to welcome Gary's Picks host, Gary Fowler. Gary is CEO and co-founder of GSD Venture Studios, an award-winning growth stage AI venture studio. Gary is also co-founder of the award-winning AI startup Eva.ai, as well as the investment firm DY Investments. Today, Gary will be interviewing special guest Jan Strøm, founder and CEO of Vojvoj. Vojvoj is revolutionizing the content creation industry by democratizing opportunities for creators worldwide. They provide creators with the tools and infrastructure necessary to succeed, from developing a strong digital economy to offering a global distribution network. Whether in action sports or creative content, Vojvoj is reshaping the digital landscape, giving creators control over their careers and platform to grow sustainably. Jan is passionate about human behavior, sales, automation, and digital transformation. He has a proven track record of successfully designing 3 digital concepts that achieved domestic success in Norway. Take it away, Gary.
That's great. Thanks, Joel. Really appreciate it. We go down through this journey, Jan, and you've been a corporate executive, you've been a startup entrepreneur. What are the secrets to success?
Well, I'll tell you a story. So financing Vojvoj from Norway, consumer product with global ambitions, has had its challenges. And I've called actually over 250 of Norway's most wealthy people, and had a few good meetings, got some on board. But there's one thing that they all shared with me, and these are billionaires, right? And they all told me one thing: no matter what happens, never quit. And I think that's the #1 skill you need as an entrepreneur: resilience, always finding a way forward.
So where do you find that power, Jan, inside of yourself? You're going down through, it's a dark day. How do you find that power to keep that positive attitude?
Well, to me, there are 2 things that drive me. There are changing something that I saw. I saw a problem that I had to do something about. And Vojvoj is a very ambitious project. I looked myself in the mirror and said, am I that guy who can launch and scale this into a global operation? And even though I've been successful in Norwegian scale, the answer was no. So I said, well, let's become that guy. So I think it's about making change, and it's about who you become on the other side of that journey. So that drives me, because I want to see where will this take me as a human being.
So when you're going down through it, let's just say you've had a day where there's been some issue and challenges. What do you do to be able to bring yourself back up? Is it something inside or outside? Do you do yoga? What's the secret sauce? Well, there's one thing that you do to change your mind and move it in that direction. What do you do?
Gary, a really good question, because I look at entrepreneurship like professional sports, like an athlete. So I get up very early. I've had periods, I put everything on the line here. I've sold my cars. I've invested everything into this project, and there have been times where things have been really hard, and you wake up and so many things not going in your direction, so many things to fix, so much on the line that you almost have panic attacks, right? So I do breathing exercises. I go to the gym. I meditate. And I put myself every day in a position where I feel I can you can throw anything at me, but I'm ready. And then, when this hard time comes, it's allowed to say, oh, that was hard. But after 5 minutes, you have to stop whining and get back on the horse, right? Go again.
Yeah, so you put everything out there, and it sounds like you're not afraid. You just move forward. There's no fear. By the way, I met with Scott McNeely, the founder, one of the founders of Sun Microsystems, and he told me you always go to the areas you fear the most because you're going to learn the most, and that was directly from him.
Yeah.
And I believe that's right. So as you've gone down through this journey, how do you adjust from being a corporate executive to being a startup founder? What kind of mental shift do you have to take, and how much different is it being a startup founder compared to being a corporate executive?
Well, in the companies I've been corporate executive, I've always been lucky to come in early, to set the table. This is what I like the most. So I've had that experience from before. But I think as an entrepreneur, you seek freedom, and you get freedom, but you also get a whole lot of responsibility. And that's the difference between being corporate level and startup. It's all on your shoulders, right? In the beginning, you have to deal with everything, and you don't have resources to buy services. So there's a lot of stuff that you just have to learn.
And so who do you use to talk to do you have any mentors and advisors that you use directly to talk to them about how to be able to guide you, through the situation, or how does it work?
Yeah, I have mentors and advisors on different levels. I have trusted friends that have been through this journey previously that has helped me a lot, and those kind of friends who are not afraid to tell you the truth, to be direct, because that's what you need. You need people to be completely honest with you, because you don't have time for BS on this.
Yeah, no, that you're right. It's not about the BS, it's getting shit done, right? It's always about getting the stuff moved forward. So as you've
100%.
gone down through, how did you come up with the idea of Vojvoj?
So in my previous business, I built a system for content creators on how to monetize on network and content. The system was performing very well. And I thought, wait, this system is semi-analog. How can I automate it? How can I help creators earn directly from their network, directly from their content, and directly from all the value that we as users of today's platforms create? So Vojvoj is set up to bring value back to those who create it. So I had data, I saw a need, and I thought, well, if you see a problem, you need to be a man, and you need to take responsibility and do something about it, right?
Yeah, no, you got to take the responsibility. And so you've gone down through how did you come up with this idea? Where did the idea from Vojvoj? Was it something you've had for a long time, or is it something that happened spontaneously?
So it grew out of working with content creators, seeing their needs, seeing the flaws in the systems and the ecosystem that they were operating in. And so I had this idea. I started designing the concept, and I previously built and scaled community-centric platforms. And I knew that there's one huge barrier here. If you're creating a community-centric platform, it's the cold start problem. So I took all my knowledge on sales psychology and human behavior, and I designed these platforms to mitigate the problems of the cold start problem. So everything, soon as you start using this platform and creating value, you're receiving feedbacks with value. So you get really, really rapid engagement.
So where is the company now? Have you gotten your product market fit? Do you have customers? When are you going to get the revenue?
So we're soft testing now. We're 2 weeks behind launch, but we're launching probably during the weekend. We did a pilot test with great results. We saw 7-day retention 50% higher than Snapchat, and our top creators are earning way more in our system than in any other platform out there.
And why is that, Jan? Why are they making so much more money?
Well, our operation is built on a new infrastructure. It's a peer-to-peer infrastructure where everything can change ownership in real time. It's a much more energy efficient infrastructure. So we say there we can run a very lean operation, and we generate income from day one. And we direct 70% of all the income directly to the creator, which is way more than any other platform.
Wow, that's amazing. So, if you look at it, how different is the world going to look once Vojvoj takes off? And you've got that, they got that $1 billion valuation. What do you think?
Well,
Where's it going to be?
Well, this is it's an easy, simple question, but also very complicated. Because what we're doing is we're basically just changing the business model of social media. And by doing that, we're creating a total new environment. I have a daughter, 10 years old, and I'm very hesitant or scared of letting her into these manipulative environments that we see today. With Vojvoj, we're changing this. We're also removing the focus on vanity. So we'll have a much more healthy platform where the focus is on high quality content. An algorithm, which is not a gaming algorithm that's there to feed you with the here and there dopamine hit, but an matching algorithm where our job is to place the right content in front of the right people at the right time. So it's a much more healthy environment for everybody where we can thrive and, democratize opportunities for everybody who is creating digital content.
Well, you're right. There's a lot of digital creators out there, and now it's finally becoming like a business. Before we're just having fun and doing things.
Yeah.
So what's the, how many, and you don't have to answer me if you don't have the answer, but how many digital, folks who could be your target market are out there, right?
Yeah. So there's a huge opportunity. I'm glad you're bringing this up because there's approximately 400 million content creators globally. But the latest Linktree reports show that only 40% approximately are monetizing. This leaves us with, somewhere around 240, 250 million content creators waiting for Vojvoj to release, right? So it's a huge blue ocean opportunity.
No, that's right. And, so you're in Norway right now. What's the culture like in Norway, Jan, compared to dealing with other places where you've been in terms of the startup community? Are they supportive? Is it interesting for them? Do they want to see these companies succeed? I mean, how much support do you have in Norway?
In all transparency, launching a social media platform like this ambitious project out of Norway is a bit difficult, but like we talked about, difficult is good, right? Makes you grow. But, I feel the competence level in Norway is there's a lot of prop tech, we do oil, food, agriculture, fish, not a lot of social media knowledge. So it has been very valuable for us to join GSDV, where we've met and connected with advisors, we've increased our team, and it's opened a lot of doors. So I think it's important for companies in Europe, in Norway, to look in that direction of Silicon Valley.
Well, I mean, Silicon Valley is like a port to the rest of the world. You look at it, you're going to raise money for virtually anywhere that's friendly with the U.S. probability is there's going to be somebody there or somebody coming over in a month or two to visit that's interested in investing in the company. So you're right about that. It's quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's interesting.
When you see these startups, what are the startups like in Norway compared to startups in the West? Are there any differences in terms of how they approach things? Are they more conservative? Do they take their time? What's it like?
I think conservative is the word. You hit the nail there. It's more conservative, lower valuations, investors. There's a misbalance in investors, what they want from their investment. I think in Norway, they're trying to take too much, which can hurt the motivation of the founders. I think it's important to leave the founders with enough ownership to keep them really engaged and motivated. I think that's the problem in Norway we see.
Wow,
But
that's amazing.
yeah.
Now, what about, when you've gone down through that and, you've had those ups and downs to cross the chasm in terms of fear? Because some people get crippled because they're afraid of, doing something for fear it's a problem. How do you go down in Norway? First of all, is there a vibrant startup community in Norway?
There's a good startup community in Norway. But I always believe that every startup is different and every startup has its own journey. The way I do it might not be the right way for somebody else, but it's the right way for me because of the skill sets I have and my strengths, because you should always work on your strengths and then you find teammates to fulfill your weaknesses. So I believe this is a path everybody's got to go down and create their own journey on this. So it's not always easy to compare, oh, I did like this, so you should do it this way. I think the most important thing is just have a plan, iterate on the plan, always believe it's the way forward, and never, ever quit.
Yeah, you're right. Never give up. Focus on what you do so it manifests itself. You are gonna have these ups and downs. You need to address them because that's just life.
Yeah.
The interesting part is if those companies stay around long enough and you have revenue, they could turn into a unicorn, right? It's some of these steadfast companies. So, when I went over so I was in Norway, I was in Stockholm. I found a lot of really smart people, but not everybody was looking at the technologies right on the leading edge. This was a number of years ago, by the way. So how do you get over the chasm with those kind of people? Jan, when you find somebody that's kind of doubting Thomas, oh, this is just bullshit in your project, they're not buying into it. How do you help them? What do you do to try to empathetically help people come into the network?
Well, trying to share a vision. I don't want to go too deep in the technology, but
Yeah.
share a vision, share your purpose, show them why you're doing this, because people can relate to purposes more than they can to technology. So, and I think Vojvoj has a really strong purpose. We're here to help as many people as we can while we're here, right? And
Yeah,
I think
that's right. And that's what life's all about, isn't it, Jan? To go out and try to be, an act of kindness, help somebody because you never know when you might need it, right? It's really interesting. And I think what you're doing is, phenomenal because it gives people another warm, fuzzy look at a problem that exists. It can be solved, right? It's another one of those interesting problems.
Yeah, and the youth today, 57% of kids today believe they can live off content creation. So we have to give them the tools for them to live the life they want to live. They want to live in freedom. They want to create and they want to have opportunities. So Vojvoj is here to bring those opportunities to them.
No, that's great. So, you've gone down through this. Tell us a little bit about Vojvoj, what it does is that.
So if you if you imagine the monetization power of Patreon, the virality of TikTok, you kind of have Vojvoj there. So you can earn in the feed on donations, but you can also place your content behind a payment wall, subscription wall, and have exclusive videos, how to do videos, mini series, courses, anything that you can imagine that will create value for somebody digitally. Then there's all the social mechanisms, social media mechanisms that we know, interacting with comments, sharing content, referring users. So it's a very fun setup where you create value in a fun and interactive way.
No, I agree with you. Creating value in a fun and interactive way. I mean, that's the holy grail, right? Being able to go down and make something interesting and enchanting and the same they learn and they do something special with it. I mean, we have to do more of that on this planet. We should be out there. Every one of us has to have be good to have like an internship when you go through college and spend a few weeks out there working with those folks to understand how hard it is, right? And how we can change it. So I agree with you. So we're coming up to the top of the show. So closing thoughts and how do people get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me on LinkedIn, Jan Strøm. You can find me on Instagram, Jan Strøm. I'll also share my email, jan@vojvoj.com. If you're interested in learning more, we'll share our deck, our white paper, one pager, whatever you want. But we're getting a lot of attention. So we're a couple of days away from traction, and with our business model, we'll be earning from day one. So it's exciting times for us.
That's really good, and these entrepreneurs that are out there, they're looking for the holy grail. They're looking for companies like yours to be able to help them, people like you that have done it and can talk authoritatively about what needs to be done and create that unicorn. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So
if I can just mention, we've already signed up, Gary, with content creators with millions and tens of millions in reach already that are ready to start working on our platform. So we're going to have a flying start on this one.
wow, that's great. All right. Well, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here today. It's really appreciated. And, Vojvoj's got a bright future. And this is what we need to do. We need to develop these super apps, if you will, to be able to help us navigate life in an entirely different way and navigate how to be more efficient and more effective. So hats off to you. Joel, take it away.
Yeah, this is great. Jan, thank you so much. I think what you're doing is going to be a gateway for helping many entrepreneurs get their technologies, products, software out into the marketplace, their unique creations. This is something that just didn't even exist, an opportunity that didn't exist just a couple of years ago. So I'm really thrilled that you're on the forefront of this enablement. Gary, thank you again for another wonderful Gary's Picks event. We look forward to seeing everybody back here in 2 weeks on the 16th of October for the next edition of Gary's Picks. Until then, everybody stay well, and we'll see you then. Take care.
Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Thanks, Sean. We appreciate it. Bye-bye.
All right.